Hey, welcome to the show, Leading and Growing Your Real Estate Business. This is Coach James Short, aka Shorty, and this is a show for those within the real estate industry wanting to lead and grow their real estate business. It's a series of interviews that we conduct for those within the industry. So we're finding out what those leaders are within the industry, what makes them tick, what's their story, what are their strategies, and how to become the leaders and the growers within the industry. But also, it's an interview series with those outside of the industry. I'm always a big believer of looking at a whole different part of the pie rather than just focusing on one part of the pie. Because what it does, it allows you to have a different perspective, allows you to get snippets or golden nuggets from those outside of the industry that can look into the industry and go, there's a different perspective. And so I encourage you to reach out to the guests. I encourage you to lean into these series to find out how can these pieces of information, experiences, stories help you lead and grow your real estate business. I'm excited to have this next guest on the show, David Howe, partner agent at Rain and Horn Lower North Shore. He is an amazing gentleman. David is blessed with rare honesty and genuine empathy that clients find instantly reassuring and comforting. He displays excellent negotiation skills and incredible service that knows no boundaries and cites his greatest motivation as achieving results that are well beyond his clients' expectations. His success is based on the premise that honesty, personal attention, enthusiasm, and reliability will yield excellent results for every customer. With an MBA and 20 and 30 years in real estate, respectively, each in both banking and the real estate sector, he appreciates his financial aspects of buying and selling real estate. His natural candor, combined with his attention to detail for everything he does, makes his clients feel special and nothing is left out. And these are his well known trademarks. It's an honor and definitely a privilege to have him on the show. David, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thanks, James. It's great to be interviewed by a renowned podcaster like yourself.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, David, you've been in the industry for a little while now, but I want you to take me back to those first days when you got into the real estate. Why did you choose real estate?
Okay. I started my career as a banker, and I used to be doing foreign exchange trading. So that the lifespan of a foreign exchange trader is probably up to around the 30-ish age group. And after that, the bank said, David, it's time for me to do some administrative work. And I said no to that. So I came out and approached a friend who was actually having a real estate company. She took me in. Great lady. She taught me everything I need to know about real estate. And I've never looked back in this 30 years that I've been in real estate
Amazing.
companies,
Yeah,
including some brands. Yeah.
that's incredible. That's incredible. And it has been an amazing journey that you've been on. And now in the lower North Shore of Sydney in Australia, it's an incredible market. What's your take on the market now within the area?
Um, it's currently in this current climate, the pattern is sort of holding at the moment. Auction clearance rate is actually quite firm in Sydney market. It's fluctuating in the last month or so between 65 to 70%, which is strong clearance rate. And there are still A grade and B grade properties. The A grade are definitely well sought after and they are achieving strong prices. The B and C grade are taking longer to sell and needing more work to transact the business. So stock levels still remain tight in the lower North Shore, especially in Northbridge, where I specialized in. And buyers are there, but they are very cautious at this point in time because we are just seeing the interest rate coming off.
Definitely, definitely. And have you felt that interest rate coming off, has it build any more confidence within buyers, or do you think they're still quite standoffish? Do you think we need another interest rate decrease?
The interest rate decreased in the last two occasions have actually brought more buyers to the market. But on saying that, some of the buyers are still cautious. They are not. They are still uncertain whether if they can cope with the repayment schedule that they have, and they are hoping that maybe in the next few months there will be further rate cuts of about another 0.5%. Then I do believe when that happens, the market is going to react and move favorably for the sellers.
Yeah, definitely. And so that's over the next couple of months. Where would you see then the next, say, 12 months within the market? What do you, I mean, I know we don't have any crystal balls with it as being in the industry, but if you were to say, well, this is based on your experience and insights, where would you see the market head over the next 12 months or so?
Okay, in the next 12 months, I mean, we are seeing interest rate probably drop down to the low of 3%, thereabouts. And that should give confidence to the buyers that it's time to actually buy as a primary resident or an investment, purely because uh, the real estate cycle is always, real estate always go up in prices. There's no coming down. It's either it's stabilized or it goes up. So in years to come, it will still go up. So real estate remain a very good asset or an investment for anybody who wants to put money where it will grow.
Yeah, fantastic. And what over these next 12 months, what excites you, but also what concerns do you have with that over these next 12 months?
Mm, I personally think that real estate is always a good investment, and I would advise if buyers are still cautious that they should uh, research more and talk to professionals like banker, mortgage brokers, real estate agents, and see how what has transpired in the last 20, 30 years in terms of historical data. Data is very important. You need to ensure that you have the figures that you can study closely. And I would think in the next 12 months, the cycle is actually, we'll see property prices go up, but not as fierce as it was during the COVID time, but it will gradually go up. Anywhere, I would guess between the 3 and 6% per year.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think that's, yeah, I think that is a great insight. Because that's the thing, you got to know your numbers and spoken like a true MBA and banker history. So, which is good to see that you've transitioned that information into the real estate investment world. So that's fantastic. Now, being in the industry for 30 years, you would have seen some great changes and some developments. What's your take on the industry at the moment? Hey guys, just a little side note here. How's it going? Are you on track this year? I know that sometimes this part of the year we can feel like we're in a bit of a grind, a bit of in the trenches. Are you on track from the original plans that you set out for the rest of this year? What I've realized is that between with this time of year, we get so distracted and we've got trying to chase so many shiny balls and go down so many rabbit holes. And that's why I created a program called the 90. It's a framework that actually allows you to achieve more in 90 days than ever before. Some of the feedback that we've got from some of the people that have used the process, the 90, is that they've achieved more in 90 days than the whole previous year. So if you'd like to have the tools, have the techniques, have the framework on the 90, so you and your team can achieve more in 90 days than ever before. What it does, it impacts you of how to get clear, what you need to do, and who you need to be to show up in order to achieve the things you want to achieve over the next 90 days. Simply head over to jamesshort.com.au, click on join the waitlist, fill in your details, and one of the team members will be in touch and take you through the 90 framework. On with the show.
Since COVID, I mean, property prices have fluctuated in the last, I would say, the last 5 years. Some suburbs have gone up by roughly about 50, 60% in price value. In the last maybe a year or so, there was stabilization, no more huge increases, but it's still gradually increasing. So, and that's why I keep on saying that real estate is definitely something that potentially investors or buyers should look at for future gains for the next generation. Yeah.
Definitely. And being an agent over these last 30 years, what have you seen some of the biggest changes that you've seen and that you've dealt with?
I would think recently, I mean, regulations, okay? This is important for our industry. Now they require us to do, real estate agents have to do CPD points every year to maintain our standards. And I think that's a good thing for the industry. And it will continue to keep on changing in that fashion, whereby they are pretty cautious now about underquoting, which is a subject that most of the agents must do if they want to be a professional agent. And I think that's very important. We don't want to mislead the public by doing something not ethical in terms of like underquoting. And I do believe the changes now recently also about leasing, property management. I think that is giving uh, more insight to buyers who want to buy an investment property and to study the new rulings of what notice that they have to give to potential tenants. And they are meant to protect the tenants as well as the landlords. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. And do you see that regulation getting even tighter and more regulated over the future
Oh,
or
yes,
yeah, okay.
definitely.
Interesting.
I think the main reason why the Office of Fair Trading and the government bodies is controlling this is to protect the consumers. I think the consumers need to be protected from some of the agents who are not abiding by the rules. And I think it's a good thing for the economy.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. Now, with your career that you've been in, you would have seen some good leadership and some not so good leadership within the industry and been a part of. What's your take around leadership? What do you define as good leadership?
Okay, it covers a very, very broad subject. I think a leader must lead by example. You do, if you want your colleagues to follow what is ethical, you have to do the right thing. Like if for my open house, okay, I go and I prepare the home for the open house. I get a blower, I leave the blow, I blow the leaves, I go and clean the swimming pool. I'm hands on. If I don't show those example, then my fellow colleagues will not follow that example. So set the example for them to follow, that you are not just giving orders, but you are actually doing the stuff as well. Um, and I think you mentioned earlier, to me, uh, being honest, uh, being able to be trusted by people, act with humility, those are some elements that I think will create that good leader. It's not all about, in real estate, everybody thinks it's all about money. To me, I don't think it's all about money. It's about working to encourage or train your fellow colleagues to a better understanding of how actually to improve this industry in real estate. It's not an industry that people aspire, or they tend to think that it's a very good real estate agents are truly a good gentleman. You have We here are trying to project that image to the public that we can be trusted.
Mm. Very true. Very true. I love that. I love that. Now, being an agent, you need a certain type of mindset. What do you think is the mindset that is needed to become a great agent?
Okay. Again, I mentioned that you must always be learning every day. It's There are no two situation the same. You have to understand there's always people out there that will give you some advice as well, and help you. They could be your coach, they could be your mentor, uh, or your fellow colleague. Most of them have got different ideas of how to tackle a situation. And I do believe that over the years, I've learned so much from people that I work with. It's not just from myself, but it's always a learning curve that learning is never ending in real estate.
It's so true, right? I mean that not just on a regulation basis, but on a personal development and personal awareness, because you're dealing with people day in, day out, and so people have different behaviors, they have different ways of communicating. So it is, as you said, it's a forever learning journey, that's for sure. You would have
And
seen,
the
sorry?
new people that are coming to the industry, they actually will pick up from their mentor or their trainer. So whatever you teach them, they will adopt. And
Yeah.
if you teach them the wrong thing, then they will be similar to you doing the wrong thing to the clients. So I seriously like to teach people to do the right thing always, and be truthful in what you're doing with your clients.
Yeah. Wonderful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So David, on the show we have our 60-second quiz to find out a little bit more about our guests. Are you willing to play?
Okay, let me get back to, we discussed this topic that was going to come up, so I wasn't really prepared, but I'll try my best. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. Here we go. Favorite movie?
I would think the first Godfather movie, followed by the rest. I think it's the classic negotiation techniques that you can learn from that movie.
Definitely, definitely. Favorite food?
Um, I love Cantonese roast duck. It's besides yum cha, but the roast duck is crispy, tasty, and wonderful.
Beautiful. What's your favorite holiday destination?
I've been to Japan not so long ago. I would think Kyoto, where there are beautiful gardens, the culture is there, the people are very friendly, and it's very peaceful.
Beautiful. And do you have a morning routine? What's your morning routine?
Uh, Remember, I told you I'm in
I
the
know.
office at 4 a.m. in the morning. So I would have a cup of coffee, prepare my breakfast, and then read and try to finish all the emails that are coming into my computer, and then start the day.
So can you repeat that? What time do you get into the office?
Uh, Definitely before 5, but anytime between 4 and 5.
Wow. Wow. And what's your evening routine?
Evening routine would be wrapping up what happened during the day and what I could do better tomorrow, and lay out what's my timetable for the next day, and then chill with Netflix.
Beautiful, beautiful. And do you have a most embarrassing moment?
This one, I try to think about it again and again. I would think the most embarrassing time was when there was a lady who I thought she was pregnant, and I asked her, when, when is the baby coming? And she says, no, I'm not pregnant. So that was very embarrassing. And I will never, ever make that comment again in my career.
Oh, wow. Wow. If you could choose five inspirational people to have dinner with, who would they be? They could be dead or alive.
Currently, I'm following Tony Robbins. I do believe he's a great leader. Um, and my Prime Minister from Singapore, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, he's already passed away. And you have Steve Jobs, maybe in terms of freedom, Nelson Mandela, and of course my dad, who taught me everything that I am what I am today.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And do you have a biggest regret?
My biggest regret. Okay. I think social media. I wished I had gone into social media and even like podcasting like yourself much earlier. I think technology is leading us that way. I think that's the way to move forward.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And if you were prime minister for the day, what's one thing that you would change?
Hmm. Uh, I would think about for Australia, the purpose of on the context of Australia, I think they should look seriously on how to unlock the housing supply because we are definitely short of supply, and that's why prices are moving up. There must be some form of yeah, that I will have to look at to how to unlock the housing supply.
Great. Definitely. Definitely. And what's your best piece of advice?
Okay, one thing I'm usually adopting: cut out all the noise. Don't listen to what's out there. It's what matters is inside yourself, what you are doing right now that can make the world a better place, or to make your client feel good. It's all about yourself, and cut out all the noise whereby people are saying the market is falling, the market is rising, and all that. It doesn't matter. It's what you have that you can control within yourself. That's it.
That's incredible. Great piece of advice. And what's on the horizon for you? What's coming up? What's some exciting things that you're working on in the horizon?
Um, I think the next 2 to 3 weeks is going to slow down because of the winter. We are getting new listings coming in, all planning for spring rollout. And spring this year will start earlier. I think in August, we will start getting new listings coming onto the market.
Great. And how can the audience reach out, follow your journey, and find out more?
Sorry, what was the question?
How can the audience get in contact with you and find out more information?
Oh, obviously they can come directly to me via either come to my office in Northbridge or DM, text, or email. I respond to all my email, and this is the truth. In my inbox, there's hardly 6 emails at any one time because I reply to all my emails. I don't leave like some colleagues of mine, they have thousands of emails they said that they have never opened. I either open or I delete them that are not appropriate, but I leave to not more than a dozen, definitely not more than a dozen in my inbox.
That's incredible. Such an inspiration. Thank you, David, so much for joining us today with your energy, with your knowledge, and with your insightfulness. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure, James, and thank you so much for making this interview with me. Yeah.